They laugh with friends. They answer messages. They sit in classrooms, meetings, dinner tables, nodding, listening, even smiling. And yet, deep inside, something feels missing, a strange, quiet emptiness, like standing in a crowded room with glass walls around them. This is the loneliness of the INTP, the kind nobody sees, not even the people closest to them, because they hide it well. They are not loud about their pain. They do not cry in front of others. They do not say, "I feel alone." Instead, they disappear into thoughts, into books, into ideas. They keep moving, keep thinking, hoping that someday someone will notice the silence behind their eyes. A 2022 survey in Psychology Today found that many analytical types feel intellectually isolated, not because they do not have friends, but because they rarely feel understood. They can be surrounded by people and still feel completely disconnected. And for INTPs who live in a rich inner world, that disconnection hurts in ways that words cannot explain. In this episode, we step into that unseen world. What causes this deep, invisible loneliness? Why does it linger, even in loving homes or happy relationships? And how does an INTP learn to feel connected, not just in thought, but in heart? This is not a story of sadness. It is a search, a journey through quiet rooms and quiet minds toward the place where real connection begins. Loneliness is not always loud. Sometimes it does not come from being alone. It comes from feeling alone, even when others are around. And for the INTP, this kind of loneliness is a quiet shadow that follows them through every stage of life. It starts early. As kids, they may feel different from their classmates. While others play loud games or share jokes, the INTP is in the corner thinking about space, time, or how the light moves across the floor. They ask questions that others do not. They daydream when everyone else is focused. And slowly, they begin to feel like they are on the outside, watching, not belonging. A 2021 article from Scientific American highlighted that highly introspective people often develop a strong sense of self-awareness early on, but also face higher risks of social isolation, not because they are disliked, but because they feel different. As they grow older, the INTP may learn to fit in. They laugh at the right times, say the right things, but inside they still feel like they are wearing a mask. They want to connect, but not just in a surface way. They crave something deeper, not just shared hobbies, but shared thoughts, not just company, but true understanding. And when they cannot find that, they pull back. They turn inward, not to be cold, but to protect themselves from feeling even more unseen. This is not laziness. It is not snobbishness. It is a heart that longs to be met, mind to mind, soul to soul, and aches quietly when that meeting never comes. Inside the mind of an INTP, the world is full of meaning. Every thought leads to another. Every moment holds quiet questions. Why do people act the way they do? What drives them? What is real? What is worth their energy? Their mind is like an endless hallway of doors, each one opening to a new idea, a deeper thought, a richer possibility, and they love this world inside. It is safe, it is wide, it is theirs. But over time, that beautiful inner world can become a quiet prison. You see, the INTP is wired to reflect deeply. They use introverted thinking to examine every idea and extroverted intuition to explore every possible meaning. This makes them brilliant problem solvers, but also creates a sense of emotional distance. Because While they are thinking deeply about everything, the world moves fast. People want quick answers, small talk, easy laughs. And the INTP feels like they are speaking a different language. They do not like pretending. They do not enjoy shallow connection. So when they sense that others are not really present or not interested in the truth, they withdraw. But even in that withdrawal, they crave connection. They long for someone to really see them, to ask, "What are you thinking?" and mean it. According to a 2022 research article in Psychological Review, individuals who think abstractly and live in their inner world often feel emotionally distant from peers even when they are highly social. That emotional distance creates a quiet sadness hard to explain. The INTP may not cry easily. They may not show signs of hurt, but inside they feel the gap between who they are and what the world expects. So they smile softly, they stay kind, but behind the eyes, a part of them wonders, is there anyone out there who thinks like me? Anyone who would feel at home in this world I never share aloud? Nobody sees in a bright classroom filled with laughter, a quiet boy stares out the window. The other kids are laughing, trading stories, tossing paper balls across desks. But he's somewhere else. Not physically, he's right there in the seat. But mentally, he's in another galaxy, thinking about how the clouds move, or why time feels slower when you're bored. He's not lonely because he has no one around him. He's lonely because no one seems to live in the places his mind travels to. This is often the beginning of the INTP's quiet loneliness. In high school, an INTP girl joins a group chat full of people making jokes and teasing each other. She types a thoughtful message, an idea she had about a science topic they were discussing. No one replies. The chat moves on. She deletes the app that night. Later in college, a group of classmates go out for lunch. She gets invited too, but when she's there, the conversations feel empty. Everyone's talking about weekend plans, gossip, or silly trends. She smiles politely, nods, laughs when needed. But inside, she's scanning the room like a radar, looking for depth, for meaning, for someone who feels the world the way she does. No one answers that call. And so, next time, she says, "I'm busy," and stays home. She curls up with a book, a journal, a quiet playlist. She does not hate people, but she hates feeling more alone around them than she does when she's actually by herself. In adulthood, the same pattern continues. An INTP man joins a new job. The team is friendly. They celebrate birthdays, send memes, share playlists, but he keeps his distance. He helps when needed, works hard, and nods at the coffee machine. But when the group chats flood with emojis and jokes, he feels like he's standing outside a warm room, looking in through the glass. He once wrote a long, thoughtful reply to a team idea. Nobody responded. So now he keeps it brief. Looks good, sure, noted. Loneliness is not always the absence of people. It's the absence of resonance, of depth. Online, many INTPs write about feeling like observers in their own lives. One person shared on a forum, "It's like I'm always the background character in other people's stories. I watch, I think, but no one ever notices the world I carry inside." Another said, "I have friends, but sometimes I feel like if I disappeared, they'd just keep moving. Like I was never really there." In romantic relationships, the ache grows sharper. The INTP might love someone deeply, but if that person doesn't understand their silences, their strange humor, or their need for space, they feel even more alone with them than without. It's not drama they crave. It's not constant affection. It's connection, one that meets them where they are, in their quiet, in their thoughts, in the gentle corners of their mind where few people ever go. And when they do not find it, they drift, not out of anger, but out of quiet sadness, because the INTP isn't asking to be the center of attention. They're just hoping someone will walk into their world and stay. To many people, the INTP seems fine, calm, collected, independent. They do not complain. They do not demand. They smile politely. They answer questions. But beneath that quiet surface, there is often a deep, invisible ache. One hidden reason for this loneliness is the fear of being truly seen. You see, the INTP builds a strong inner world, one where they feel safe, in control, and understood. But letting someone into that world, that means opening doors they have spent a lifetime protecting. What if the other person does not understand them? What if they laugh? What if they walk away? So the INTP stays quiet, keeps the deep parts hidden, not because they do not want connection, but because they are terrified of being misunderstood once again. Another reason is their struggle with emotional rhythm. Most people connect through small talk, emotional sharing, or steady interaction, but INTPs connect through depth. Through rare, intense moments of understanding, they do not want to talk more. They want to matter more. This difference often leads to painful misunderstandings. Friends may think the INTP is too distant. Partners may feel emotionally disconnected. Coworkers may believe they do not want to bond, but that is not the truth. The INTP is watching, listening, hoping for a sign that someone is safe enough, deep enough to meet them where they are. And when that sign never comes, they slowly stop trying. The consequence? A life full of people, but no one who really knows them, and an INTP who becomes the expert at being present while quietly feeling invisible. Loneliness does not always need to be defeated with noise. Sometimes it just needs a light turned on inside. For the INTP, connection does not come from trying to fit in. It comes from finding places where they do not have to shrink who they are. So, how can they begin to feel a little less alone while still staying true to themselves? Let us start here. You do not have to wait for your people to magically find you. You can leave a few breadcrumbs, a little trail of your weirdness, your curiosity, your unique mind. Share that odd theory you came up with at 2 a.m. Post that strange but smart observation online. Ask the kind of question that makes people go silent for 5 seconds, and then say, "Wait, that's actually interesting." You will lose some people, yes, but the ones who stay, they are your tribe. According to psychology today, forming micro-connections based on shared values or ideas, even brief ones, can create feelings of belonging without draining social energy. That means even short, smart conversations about things you care about can help ease that loneliness. Also, try intentional vulnerability on your terms. You do not have to spill your heart to everyone, but say something real now and then. "I like talking to you," or "I feel kind of outside today." These little truths can open unexpected doors. And do not underestimate low-pressure presence. Join a book club, a makerspace, a coding forum, or even a quiet Discord server where people share your interests. INTPs connect best when the pressure is low and the thinking is high. Finally, learn to laugh with yourself. Not at yourself, with yourself. That moment when you spent 2 hours overthinking how to reply, thanks. Yep, that's classic INTP behavior. Smile at it. Name it. Keep going. You are not broken. You are built differently. And connection, for you, is not about collecting people. It is about finally meeting someone who speaks in echoes of your own mind. You can be surrounded by people and still feel alone, not because you do not care, but because the real you is still waiting to be seen. This is the quiet world of the INTP. They do not ask for the spotlight. They do not beg for attention. But they hope, in the softest corners of their soul, that someone might look a little closer, that someone might notice the thoughts behind the still eyes, the care behind the short reply, the love buried beneath the silence. Loneliness, for them, is not the absence of people. It is the absence of depth, of resonance, of someone who gets it. But that can change. Because with every word you share honestly, with every space you choose where your mind feels at home, with every person you let see a tiny glimpse of your inner world, you start to melt the loneliness. Not all at once, but one real moment at a time. And in that slow, quiet unfolding, something beautiful happens. You stop feeling like a stranger in your own story and start feeling like someone who belongs. In our next episode, we dive into another truth rarely spoken aloud: how INTPs sabotage their own ambitions without even realizing it. Why do they stall, doubt, or walk away right when success is near? And what silent fears stand between their dreams and their actions? Until then, remember this: you are not invisible. You are simply deep, and the world needs that depth more than it knows.